Mr. Desmond Chu.
EQ 12, please.
Sir, MAS expects financial institutions, or FIs, and their representatives to conduct their prospecting and marketing activities responsibly and in conducive settings. MAS has set standards of conduct for such activities. For example, representatives of FIs must disclose their identities upfront and clearly to prospective clients. 2, FIs should monitor the conduct of their representatives at roadshows through site visits and mystery shopping. 3rd, FIs should conduct callbacks and surveys within the free look period to check if clients understood the products that they purchased at roadshows. MAS has recently issued a public consultation to strengthen these safeguards by making them mandatory. MAS has also proposed additional new measures such as requiring FIs to 1. Offer consumers additional time of at least 3 to 5 days to consider their decisions. 2. Limit the use of gifts to influence consumers' decision-making. And 3. Conduct roadshows and marketing events only in commercial premises instead of public spaces such as streets and pedestrian areas. A consumer who feels he has been sold a product through inappropriate means by a representative of an FI should immediately lodge a complaint with the FI. The FI is required by regulation to thoroughly investigate the matter. Where the representative has been found to have missold a product, the FI will offer redress. Should the consumer remain dissatisfied with the FI's response, he can approach the Financial Industry Disputes Resolution Centre, FIDREC, for assistance. FIDREC's mediation and adjudication services provide consumers with an accessible and affordable avenue to resolve disputes with financial institutions.
Mr. Desmond Chu.
I thank the MOS for his comprehensive reply. I have 2 supplementary questions. The first to be, we know that we have lots of residents who might not be familiar with English, tend to be the older residents. So what are the additional safeguards put in place to help these vulnerable residents? And you do see some of these marketers doing ambush tactics in the heartlands, going after these residents. This is my key concern for them. So the second supplementary question, has the MAS monitored how many of such residents, victims of such ambush marketing tactics, have subsequently asked to withdraw their investments, and if they want to do so, are the remedial actions and recourse easily accessible to them? Thank you.
MOS Alvin Tan.
So I thank the member for his SQ. With regards to vulnerable clients, including seniors who may not be savvy with the English language, financial institutions must implement additional safeguards when recommending products to such clients. A supervisor from the financial institution must call the client to check back on his or her understanding of the product and risks before any sale to vulnerable clients is allowed to be completed. MAS has also publicly consulted on proposals to enhance pre- and post-transaction safeguards for these vulnerable clients. Maybe I'll just share a few examples. First is the strengthening of requirements to identify selected clients. Second is to require financial institutions to ask the selected clients to have a trusted individual to be present during the sales and advisory process. And third, to require financial institutions to audio record callbacks to the selected clients and to provide the recordings to them upon request. MAS is reviewing the feedback from the public consultation and will produce a response when our review is completed. With regards to his second SQ, there are many different reasons why clients may wish to withdraw their investments. One, it may be due to the fact that they have their own preference, or they may have a change of their minds. MAS doesn't have this information, but the financial institutions will have that information. But to also elaborate on what recourse mechanisms customers or consumers might have, please allow me to just elaborate shortly. Well, consumers who suspect any wrongdoing, again, should lodge a complaint with the financial institutions, which are required by MAS regulations to investigate and resolve these complaints promptly and also independently. The complaint must be handled by a separate unit comprising staff who are not involved in sales. Financial institutions will then review the facts and circumstances of the case in accordance with proper procedures, including interviewing the complainant and keeping the complainant apprised of the case status. They will offer redress to consumers where their representatives are found to have committed mis-selling or other wrongdoing. Now, if the financial institution's response is not to the customer's satisfaction, he or she can approach FIDREC, which I mentioned. The outcome of FIDREC's adjudication is binding on the financial institutions, but not on consumers, who retain the right to pursue their claims through other avenues, such as seeking legal advice on the merits of their case. Finally, consumers may also file a report with MAS if they suspect that a financial institution or representative has committed a regulatory breach or misconduct. While MAS does not adjudicate individual cases of disagreement between consumers and financial institutions, MAS will review reports of breaches or misconduct and take appropriate regulatory actions against financial institutions or representatives found to have breached MAS regulations.
Mr. Saktiandi Supan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask MAS and SQ in regards to the recourse on products which are not specifically fronted by financial institutions, in particular, for example, commodities-related products such as gold and commodities-related products. Can I ask MOS, is the appropriate recourse for clarification, is appropriate recourse via FIDREC in those sort of situations? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think when it comes to commodities-related products, it is not. So maybe you can help me clarify that point. Thank you.
MOS Tan.
So I don't have that answer at this moment, but I would check and get back to the member. Thank you.
Ms. Carrie Tan. A clarification.
Thanks, Speaker. I would like to seek clarification from MOS pertaining to this matter, which is, I appreciate that MOS performs a regulatory check and balance on the FIs, but it doesn't sound to me like the individuals who fall prey to such marketing techniques have any form of recourse or compensation. So my question is, should MAS find that any particular financial institution have breached a certain threshold of aggressive or inappropriate marketing, then will there be retroactive forms of compensations required of them to be made to the consumer? Okay, thank you.
MOS Tan.
So I thank Ms. Carrie Tan for her question. As I mentioned earlier on, MAS will review reports of breaches of misconduct and take appropriate regulatory actions against financial institutions or representatives that are found to breach MAS regulations. Thank you.